Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls across the world. Here's a new video and a new type of video too. I'm going to be experimenting with a new format and just seeing how things go and just getting better at editing. So these are probably going to come off in the first few times pretty poorly executed, and over time they'll get better, and over time I'll be using different types of production values. Ooh, by that I mean whatever I can come up with that is minimally expensive, and by that I mean just expensive in time, hopefully. Okay, so anyways, let's get on to it. Today's video we're going to be reviewing, not really reviewing, but just going over what happened at New Year Dash by New Japan. Now obviously, to preface this video, because this comes at a unique time, this comes the day after Wrestle Kingdom 12, of course. Now Wrestle Kingdom 12, I made a predictions video which 29 people watched, of course, amazing. Also, side note, if anybody's listening right now, I will be making more Dragon Ball content just because that was the one video that did get popular on the channel, and I will be doing that once. Very good speaking skills right here, but once Fighter Z comes out. Anyways, I didn't want to make a video about Wrestle Kingdom 12. I wanted to, but then I had too many opinions that were negative coming into that, and just asking myself, and like most people were, especially after the Naito match and where Jericho was gonna go. And a lot of things I kind of felt for KES versus Sanada and Evil, of just where they were going to take it and how things were going to play out. And I think I had too many negative opinions after the night, where I felt like I wasn't really clearly seeing where things were going to go, which kind of would get answered in New Year Dash, which is what we're going to be going over today. And real fast, just to go over Wrestle Kingdom, we had Jericho losing, we had Naito losing. I don't care about the Jericho losing part, and he'll come up at the end of this review / notation, but a main thing of Naito losing really killed a lot of people and killed some of the crowd, and we're starting to see Okada kind of get that heelish tone because people want to see him beat. Now, there obviously were theories that I was seeing going around online where, is it Kota Ibushi who's going to beat him? Is Kota finally going to sign? Who knows? You know, is Kenny going to get the belt? I kind of feel like Naito is due for the belt, but it's just up in the air. And especially after New Year Dash, we also don't know about where Goto is going to be headed either. I don't know if that gets answered. Again, I'm kind of new with keeping up with every single event, but I'm going to try to do it. There's also Fantastica Mania coming, and then New Beginning. And I think most of the matches are heading towards New Beginning. I'm not sure how Fantastica Mania really heads out because it goes with the Mexican promotions. I'm pretty sure it's how that goes. So we'll just see. And hopefully we'll get some answers as we keep progressing through. For people who are new to New Japan, I'm technically not new to New Japan. I'm not that new, but I'm new to watching everything at once, if that makes sense. Everything in sequence, not just watching the big events like Dominion and so on. So really getting into the grit of the program. Anyways, let's move on. Let's see how this video progresses with the things I'll have in the background. I'm not sure exactly what will be going on, but let's move on. Okay, so on to the first match. We have the 4v4 opener match, which is going to be the old head versus the new heads, which is, of course, we got to have that hip-hop reference. Oh man, oh man. So we had the old heads versus the young lions. So we had Nakanishi, Nagata, Kojima, Tenzin versus Narita, Yagi, Yumino, and Oka. Just speaking their last names to go along quickly. Now, this match was, of course, the old heads winning, old guard. Not something really of a big note, a big deal, but it was an interesting match just to open the night. Next match, we're going to go into a 5v5, so increasing the number of opponents from the 4v4 to a 5v5. In the next match, we have Kawada, Tiger Mask, Liger, Henry, and Makabe, or Henare, and Makabe versus Michinoku, Desperado, Taichi, Kanemaru, and Takashi Lizuka. I'm not sure if that name is pronounced correctly. Of course, we're going to start the first video off for the brand new year, besides the predictions video, with, if I pronounced it correctly, the most American thing to do, the most English-speaking thing to do. Oh man, oh man. Now, I like Taichi a lot, even though he has that background with all his controversy. I'll put it that way. But either way, because his pants thing, when he takes the pants off, it's kind of amazing. I like it a lot. But we had the heels taking the win, and Kawada takes the loss. I think he takes the pin. And an interesting point to point out is that Kawada, they are pushing him. Kawada, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly as well. I think the way they were pronouncing it was Kawado. I think it was Kawado. It sounded like Kabuto. It sounded near like Naruto and Boruto. I was kind of like, oh man, they're pushing the Real baby face here. But anyways, they're pushing him a bit, and you could see that when he did his Enziguri, I forget who it was on, but he did it Enziguri. I think it was the guy, I think it was Desperado actually. Tiger Mask and Liger were both doing moves. All three of them were in the ring doing moves, and then when Kawado got his Enziguri, the crowd kind of went really, they got a little hype for him. So it's really cool seeing him start up, along with another standout star of the Young Lions, which is Kidomaru. Next match, we had Jay White versus Kidomaru, and they had a singles match. Of course, Jay White takes out Kidomaru, but Kidomaru did look really strong. Kidomaru had that thing where they do the shoulder blocks and Kidomaru's all strong, and then they had the thing where they're doing their forearm hits, whatever, in where they go, and they try to act like really strong because of the whole Japanese culture with that motion, I guess you could say, that sequence. But even though Jay White was supposed to do he did it for a bit. He did like maybe 2 forearm smashes, whatever, and as soon as he should have done the third one, he instead goes for the leg of Kidomaru, knocking him down, taking him out. Of course, the crowd boos that because it's not respectable, but that's pretty much the match. Jay White wins. He'll come up a little later to get you interesting. The first matches are nothing to really go home about. It's just interesting matches to start up the new year with having all the people we just saw at Wrestle Kingdom all together in teams. Anyways, we're going to go into the next match, which is a 3v3. We have Cheeseburgers, Sho and Yo versus the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. So the Elite take out Sho at the very end. They hit the Meltzer driver with Kenny throwing up, I think, Nick up in the air. So, or to land with Matt's tombstone, basically. Solid match. It was fine. Cheeseburger had a lot of funny spots. Cheeseburger's pretty over in Japan. It's pretty cool seeing him. I like him probably the most. Not out of everybody, though. I obviously like Kenny the most, but Cheeseburger's probably the best part of the match in this case, at least. So the 5th match now is going to be the Bullet Club versus Taguchi and other people, being faces, of course. Those other people being Kushida, David Finlay, Juice Robinson, and Kota Ibushi. Now, the people that were in the club that were in the match against them was Leo Tonga, Marty Scurll, Chase Owens, and Yujiro Takahashi and Cody. This match was okay. It seemed a little, it's just, again, like, not a throwaway match, but basically throwaway because they're just big, you know, group matches. But Finlay did tap out, ending up tapping out to Cody's Indian Deathlock at the very end after, you know, they were both saying fuck you to each other, basically. But either way, the match ends like that. But as soon as Cody gets Indian Deathlock, as soon as Finlay taps out, Cody exits the ring as fast as he can, gets Kota Ibushi, starts attacking him, attacks everybody so he can get the whole team of Bullet Club versus Kota Ibushi. But to all our surprise, but not surprised at all, the Golden Lovers are again rekindling a flame here. Kenny Omega runs out, gets Kota like safely away, but pushes Cody back, and that really got the crowd hyped. If you heard the crowd was really into that event. As soon as Kenny came out, they were like, oh, like very excited and very into the idea of the Golden Lovers and possibly a match between Kota and Kenny. And I think that'll probably come down the line for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, but obviously the speculation I said in the beginning with the IWGP Championship being on the line with Okada, maybe having Ibushi win the title from Okada, that could happen, but I really think that probably won't. And I'm also considering that the Kenny versus Kota match is very hot and people really want to see that. If that happens, you know, in the American tour, which it might, I could assume that, but either way, we know Kenny has saved Kota, and their whole connection within New Japan is very weird, very reminiscent of their time as a tag team. But again, what's going to happen next? And again, like I said in my predictions video, the dissension between the club and the Elite. We always have the Elite in tag teams, you know, the Young Bucks and Kenny, and then we have Cody being like, what the fuck? And then at the end of this, Kenny, interesting enough, does note this. I mean, it's not like they're hiding it or anything. Kenny said he's tired of the infighting, blah, 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 and thus he decides to introduce a new member into the Bullet Club to, probably not my surprise at all, Jay White. He wants him in the Bullet Club. He gives him a shirt. Jay White puts it on. He's like, oh, yeah, he's smiling. But then Jay White, behind Kenny, looking off to the left, he does his switchblade, you know, John Cena, old school John Cena / any Samoans / Samoa Joe's taunt thing where he just slashes his neck. The crowd's always, no, or something like that to that effect. Kenny gets Blade Runner, I think is the move's called, and sets up a US title match right there. So that's probably going to happen at New Beginning is what I'm assuming, and that's going to be a good match. And it seems interesting where Jay White's going to end up. Do you have this whole idea of Jay White, you know, getting the respect of Kenny or somehow, or you know, Jay Whiting having to get beaten into the team, you know, that kind of thing? Will he end up joining Bullet Club no matter what? Will he join Suzuki? I don't think that'll happen. Or does he just be his own type of guy, similar or akin to Tanahashi? Who knows? Next match, we're going to have the Never Openweight 6-man tag with Bullet Club versus Chaos. Now, Chaos loses. I'm very happy about this. I don't really like Trent Beretta at all. So I don't know what else to say about that. Bullet Club wins the titles back. Not really surprised. The last match when they lost at Wrestle Kingdom was a gauntlet. Kind of unfair to the tag teams champions to even go through that, and not really discreditable for them for losing that match. Chaos obviously can't keep it together, didn't win. Not a big surprise. I don't really care, to be honest, about this title. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Okay, next we have Suzuki Gun 4-man tag versus Hanson, Rowe, Elgin, and Tanahashi. Basically just heels versus faces. So in the Suzuki team, we have KES, Zack Sabre, and Suzuki. So at the end of this match, basically Suzuki Gun takes out Rowe, Hanson, Elgin, and Tanahashi. They win. And then at the end, you see Suzuki has been working on Tanahashi's leg outside the ring, pulls him back into the ring. Suzuki keeps everybody out of the ring so that Tanahashi can be basically beaten to submission, but he's basically just in agony, in pain from his leg getting injured. And Suzuki challenges for the Intercontinental Championship after losing to Goto. One interesting thing that could be noted about this match is in the beginning when Suzuki comes out, after he does the Kaze ni Nare, and he comes in, takes off the towel from his head. Basically, you see it's bald. Suzuki's looking pissed off, like, fuck this. But, I mean, very respectable at the end of Wrestle Kingdom when he did shave his own head. That was probably one of the best matches of the night, I'm going to be honest. But either way, of Wrestle Kingdom, that is. So, either way, we get into the main event. The main event of the New Year Dash is going to be LIJ versus Chaos. LIJ being Los Ingobernables de Japan. Naito is actually pretty, you could guess this very easily, is Naito is still cheered heavily. You have weird, this is why I didn't like the tag team match, and I'll note it now. The tag team match at Wrestle Kingdom for the heavyweight tag team division where KES faced off Sanada and Evil, I thought Sanada and Evil looked too weak. Now, I did end up liking KES in the match I just mentioned previously with Tanahashi versus Suzuki's team, basically. I like KES, like they're good, but it just seemed like Sanada and Evil looked too weak to win. It just seemed like they pushed it too far, where it was like Sanada and Evil winning seemed a little, ridiculous in a sense. And they didn't get, maybe they're still heels to everybody, so they don't get cheered. They get like this weird, really mild, no reception at all. Bushi probably had the worst reception. Takahashi obviously had a little bit better, probably had the best out of anybody except for Naito on their team, obviously, of a reaction. But still, I just don't like where LIJ is at as a whole. But where Naito is at, I'm pretty happy, and we'll get to that at the end where why I'm happy with why I didn't upload a video about reviewing Wrestle Kingdom, because I had too many negativities about Naito's loss. But anyways, let's move on. The Chaos team is with Gedo, Ospreay, Hashi, Goto, and Okada. Obviously, Hiroko Goto does not show anything for who's going to be challenging for his never openweight title belt. I don't know if that happens at this event in the time of the year, or it's going to happen at Fantastica Mania, or like if it plays out where you start noticing who's going to be facing him. I don't know how that works. I'm probably sounding ignorant. Either way, you had LIJ beating Chaos. They pinned Hashi at the end. And at the end of the match, Naito says his loss at Wrestle Kingdom to Okada was completely on him. Nothing he could do about it, but he's going to hopefully, have LIJ become and evolve throughout the year. And then Jericho comes out, attacks Naito. Naito is not fully injured here. Naito actually comes back and starts attacking Chris Jericho. He starts attacking him. He spits at him like 2-3 times. Keeps coming at him. Jericho's pulled off by Shoyo and everybody in the locker room that came out and the security. LIJ's still in the ring. Naito ends up getting a chair from this poor girl in the front. I mean, she probably had a good time because it's cool seeing Naito take your chair. I would want my chair taken by Naito. Oh man, oh man. Then Naito comes, gets a chair, pretends to throw it, actually doesn't, places it down, sits, turns his back to Jericho, and just puts his leg up, crosses his legs, and goes, "Nah, I do not give a shit about you," is basically what Naito's saying. So that sets up a match between Naito and Jericho. I'm going to guess it's either at New Beginning, or it could be set, I'm pretty sure it's going to be New Beginning, or they'll have a couple matches. So I'm guessing they're going to have Jericho, having a match in America with them. I don't know if that'll happen. I mean, again, I kind of question the predictions video, how Jericho is looking with his, relationship with WWE, but who knows? Jericho will probably help them in America if he's been helping them this much, especially signing on for another match. So I'm guessing the Jericho match is going to happen at New Beginning, and we might get Jericho versus somebody else in the US. I don't know. I would assume not. I would assume yeah. I don't know. Very cognitive dissonant here, but either way, the New Beginning actually, it was a literally new beginning. I really like this actually made me feel way better about Wrestle Kingdom. And of course, with my negativities about Okada and Naito, Naito losing to Okada's like really like freaking Saudi Arabian prince's pants, you know, the gold pants, and he looks like he's probably gonna chill out on the couch with his tigers or some shit. Either way, it's just I did not like him losing. I get that the ace always wins, you know, at the big Wrestle Kingdom event, but does that make sense for the storyline? Does that feel good? Does that really set off the new year? No, but New Beginning is basically that setting off for the new year. Naito versus Jericho is awesome. It makes me feel way better as a Naito fan, as an LIJ fan, mostly Naito fan, you know, in this case, because LIJ is not going to be bumped up too much. An interesting note I also forgot to mention is that when Okada, after the match was over, Naito wins, Naito gets Okada, and instead of taking him out himself, he gives him to Sanada. So maybe Sanada's going to be set up for a heavyweight championship match, probably to lose. I would have guessed the only person to... My guess of who would beat Okada is going to either be a Kenny, Naito, or Ibushi. And probably in that order as well. Flipping Naito and Ibushi out. I would only flip them out if Ibushi really isn't set up. And if Ibushi's set up for the US Championship matches, I don't know how I would see Ibushi going for the US title and then him winning for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship title. It really is dependent on how they book Okada and how it looks with Okada's injuries, if he gets injured and if he's worn out. It really is dependent on that. I would guess that Okada is going to end up losing the title around Dominion, but who knows. Either way, really good for Naito to get this exposure with Jericho, and hopefully they actually do have a match not only at New Beginning, maybe even Naito loses to Jericho at New Beginning, and then at, you know, the event in America, Jericho ends up losing, so then you have Naito looking really strong. Or opposite, who knows. Their booking is very good because you never know what's gonna happen. But that's basically it. It's I felt like it was a boring review, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know, that's probably a shitty thing to say at the end of it, but that's my take on things. That's updating everybody on the things that have been going on. Again, I guess I could say one thing because probably no one's listening and I can just speak my mind here. You know, I feel like there's a lot of issue with the way people have been taking this whole New Japan coverage. And I'm getting kind of annoyed of Chris Jericho being the #1 face on everybody's fucking YouTube video. I know he's like fighting him and it's cool, but like there's other wrestlers and there's more interesting storylines. The only reason I'm interested in Jericho now is because of Naito. Like literally, that's pretty much it. So, and I don't know. There's a lot of interesting stuff that came out of this. I really want to see Suzuki, you know, face Tanahashi. Just because, I mean, I feel like that's a little boring of a storyline, but at least it's something to see. I'm really interested in the Kenny, Kota, and Cody dynamic. That's probably the most interesting to come out of this night, in my opinion, but that's basically it. We had a very good opener for the new year, sets up a bunch of different angles. We still have questions of what's going to happen with Okada, Goto, and basically, you know, the tag team championships as well to a degree. So, either way, that's the end of the video. I'm very tired, very thrown off. Obviously, staying up all night to watch Wrestle Kingdom has thrown me off for a day. I am fine now. It took me a day to get back to my schedule. But either way, this is the end of the video, and I will see you in another video. Hopefully, one related to gaming, so the background shit isn't random, and I can just talk live. Okay, goodbye. And yeah, that's it.